So over the years, we've had multiple questions, multiple people asking us, be it the store, be it on our rides, be it even when you stop somewhere, we've got bikers who were not biking, but they were with family, like Dhruvatare
Yeah.
or all of these places where people have constantly asked if be it the big bikes with the hard luggage or be it our slim bikes with the soft luggage and, crucial tie down points or even saddlebags, something that's generic. There was or there is still an everlasting question about what's best. Is it hard luggage? Is it soft luggage? Now, we're going to take it in steps. Obviously, we will talk about soft luggage, and none other than the guys who are happy with soft
Using soft
luggage.
luggage. We're
Well,
not saying that hard luggage is bad. Soft luggage does cater to different set of riders, different kind of terrain you're riding in, what you would want to carry. Say you're the person who does a lot of work from home, but you're not at home. You're actually working from the mountains, or you're touring. I think those are the different kind of people who would want to look at different kind of luggage options,
right,
right?
right.
So, yeah, I
No,
think this video we should be talking about not why soft luggage is good, but what kind of riders and what kind of motorcycle should use soft luggage.
and also, I think overall, see, when you look at soft luggage, there has been a lot of misconceptions. Something that even I faced, be it my Domina community, be it the KTM, which we're both part
Yeah.
of, or be it any of these communities. And I'm sure a lot of you guys in the different forums, especially Tigers, Africa Twins, a huge boom in the recent where a lot of Africa Twins, a lot of 1250s are moving towards soft luggage. You guys must have heard soft luggage as a whole package is not the same. I mean, if you look at a simple setup from Rhinox, or if you look at Viterra from saddlebags, all the way to Lone Rider or GV, Moscow Moto, so many brands, but each of them have their own defined setup. Soft luggage as a whole is not just bags. So I think
Yeah.
we both have tried soft luggage in many ways, and I think we can primarily, instead of that usual thing of this is great, let's break it down. I think we should, at least what we understood, or in
Yeah.
our sales world, maybe we can talk about how these things differ and how they are different, how a simple saddlebag makes life in one way easier. But if you upgrade all the way to maybe a lockable side bag system or semi-rigid side bags, or maybe even the Lone Rider, the motor bags for the 1250 guys, how they actually make life insanely different, how designs have advanced, how it
Yeah.
went through one
Let's
by
let's
one.
uh, roll it back maybe 12, 15 years behind, right? We
Oh
never
God.
had anything as what do you call soft panniers or soft bags, crash bar bags, utility bags. We had nothing of that sort, right? I mean, I remember using saddle bags which were not bike specific, saddle bags that were meant to take a lot of beating, saddle bags that were claimed waterproof, but well, that just didn't work
I
out.
think there was this. I mean, in our Duke days, there was this one bag that all of us saw, even in Krieger's, even in a lot of guys. You remember the dirt sacks, the
Yeah.
big yellow
They're quite
ones.
big. I mean, I've used them as well personally. I mean, they do a fantastic job. But again, if you look at it this way, from the time that we started using saddlebags to tailbags, they've actually evolved in the way they, fit to the motorcycle. The design changes,
Yep, yep.
and right now, what we see as
A
soft
huge
panniers, what
difference.
you call it as soft panniers, what we call it as soft panniers, they work exactly the same as
Hard
hard
luggage.
panniers, right?
Yes.
Of course, there are drawbacks to it. There is a win-win situation as well for your soft luggage. But yeah, thinking about 10 years ago, I can't even imagine going back to that setup.
No, I mean, I remember when I went in, I think there was this store down in Kormangla, Sonival Signal.
Yeah.
There was these off-road guys who used to do a lot of off-road equipment, but they used to do dirt sack as well. And when I went in there and I was asking them, I need saddlebags, and I have no clue what a saddlebag at that point was. I think we knew what Rhinox or whatever we saw
Yeah, there were
on
quite a few brands. We will not talk a lot about brands today. They're watching. They're good. They're good. They're absolutely good. But I mean, we've evolved.
I mean,
Intel's in their i7 10th generation processor. So I think we should be evolving
surprising
as
that
well.
coming from an iPhone guy or an Apple guy, but then there you go. That's how you said it. It's always not just one brand.
Yeah.
If you started with Rhinox, it doesn't mean you will stay with the Classic 500 or you will stay to 10 years back. We've both evolved, and all of us have evolved. what I used Rhinox then doesn't mean Rhinox is the same thing I'd use. I would upgrade, or if I say that brand is because I personally used Rhinox.
Yeah.
And I like their products as well. But
We
over
are
the
not,
years,
yeah, we are not saying that, these brands cannot be used on, say, for example, I ride an ADV and I use a brand and tomorrow I pick up to 1250. It doesn't mean that that brand wouldn't work with that bike, just that aesthetically, or maybe it just doesn't fit the bike because the whole surface area or the frame of the bike is a little
yep,
different,
yep.
which might end up where your saddlebags would just sit like butterflies, right? I mean, you would want those photos during that trip to be picture perfect and
Oh
not two
yes,
bags hanging out like this, right?
Instagrammable.
Instagram content.
But also, see, apart from that, I still feel the other condition is, I think we both will agree to the fact, my first monsoon ride, I spent 20 minutes with muck on all the tie downs, and I'm trying to remove the system from my bike because I'm standing in rain. I am drenched with the whatever I could afford in waterproofing gear at that point.
Tell me the
And
amount of times you actually moved your tail bag or your, the bag that you've strapped onto your seat or the tail rack. How many times did it come and hinder your riding?
so that is more, but I think more for me was beautiful instances where I have sweeps behind me who overtake, and my waterproof cover is flying somewhere.
Yeah, so they ride past.
And that's
That's
what.
what you get to know, right?
And I think even bungee cords, for that matter, has evolved to ROK straps.
ROK straps,
And
yeah.
so many other advancements. But see, my first condition, which I personally felt was a struggle, which I later realized now that is evolved, is the strapping down. When I'm getting onto the bike, it's already a struggle for me to put on all the gear, load up the bike, warm up the bike, wear the helmet, check Senna, check communication, check all of that, make sure all,
Yeah,
everything
and when
is.
you're riding in the mountains, you had a tired day the previous day of riding. Doing that, say, 15 days of riding the mountains, imagine tying down your bags every
You've done
day.
that in Arunachal, right? I think.
I did that for my the Endurostan setup, but again they had those beautiful clips that just stayed on the bike.
Right.
So all I had to do was
Click it
keep it
down.
on the seat and click it into place. So I think that's where I wouldn't say technology has improved. It's the brand that has actually evolved in making these designs. I mean, there are a lot of ripoffs, there are a lot of copies we've seen.
Tell me about it.
I mean, they just cannot match the original brand that actually came out with the design. We've seen it all. We will definitely not talk
And
about
trust
brands
me,
here.
let's
Yeah.
let's also accept the fact you and me both tried one of these design copies as well,
Yes, yes.
which was very interesting. Which was
It was a total failure, and yeah, we'll not talk about it.
No, but I think the best way I can ask you to give an insight about how your experience was during the grit days when you used to do a lot of riding, and at that point, I think the Expulse or before that, even the Pulsar.
That was the Duke 390 where I actually started doing a lot of trails, a lot of off-road. And back then, having saddlebags on a Duke 390 was just not versatile. Reason being because you're having a very little, tiny pillion seat, so there's not enough space,
Something
right?
sort of a pillion seat,
Yeah,
but
so I had this tail bag, and I don't know in what mindset I actually prepared in taking that tail bag for that ride, because again, we'll not get into brands. It had the 4 mounting points, but it was just a disaster because each time I hit a pothole or I had a slight airtime, the
moves
bag
on.
would either come in the front or they would just go at the side on either sides, and I wouldn't know because there's no one behind me on a trail. I think post that is when I got a little serious about off-road riding and enduro riding. Yes, I did spend a lot of money in experimenting
Lot is
bags.
an understatement. We'll get to that later. Anybody has any questions, you can put a comment down there, or you know what, just walk into the store. I'll be more than happy to tell you all the stuff that he spent money on. But then,
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, that's how you learn, right? Because
I
I
agree.
think
I
I've
agree.
kind of come to the point, while we are not telling you that you have to spend all the money, which is why you have this video here to tell you what is the best soft luggage. So getting back to that instance, it took me quite a while to narrow down on a few brands. I've tried it, tested out. And I think one of the brands that I use now, you have your side racks that goes onto the motorcycle. It's a lovely system because that could actually take your hard luggage and the soft luggage. I think that's the only brand that has this setup. We're talking about GV.
GV, yes,
And
yes, that's them.
I wanted to again reduce a little more weight of the motorcycle. So I had to get rid of those racks. Yeah, so that was me going a little more intense off-road and doing all the monkey stuff. So I needed the bike a little more light, which is why obviously it had to be soft luggage. I did not look at saddlebags, but I looked at saddlebags from a different brand. Again, they did a fantastic job
I
because
think they're
this
called trail packs or trail specific enduro luggage
enduro
is when it
luggage,
went
yeah,
in.
yeah,
So the idea is again giving a little insight. I'm sure you will see a picture that comes up here as well, but that's primarily a small strap that sits towards motorcycles inclined on not having racks, especially the current setup on his ADV.
yeah.
And if you look at similar bikes, which even in the bigger category, like the Desert Sled, the Desert X, even a Himalayan would prefer to have this because it makes life a lot more simpler.
Yeah.
The idea is you go, you have everything strapped on, and it's 2 clicks. The whole thing can be put on your shoulder, carry it to your room, come back.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
I mean, that's
versatile.
the thing that you would want on after you finish this tiring off-road
Yep.
ride. You've done a lot of miles on the highway, you've done a few trails, and you don't want to end up, spending time and removing the straps and snapping your fingers, taking out the bag, doing the same thing over and again for 10, 15 days. That kind of, ruins your whole
And
experience.
also something that a lot of, I mean, I understood this over a lot of years was even if you look at clothes, when you keep wearing them, it wears out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening to a lot of saddlebags, which are also tied
The
down.
soft luggage, yeah, yeah,
Every time we tie it, we've all always believed in that to stretch it to the maximum so that it locks in place. Every time you pull any sort of cloth material, it is losing its versatility.
yeah.
Over a period of 6 months, 8 months, it either touches the exhaust and breaks it, or
Right.
you have stretch points, strain points, it starts wearing out, and it removed paint.
Removes paint from your motorcycle. Your waterproofing, most importantly, your
Wears out.
waterproofing is compromised.
Yes.
While the brand tells you it's 100% waterproof. So these are the small things you'd want to look at. These brands. Again, these brands. There are reasons why they are priced a few thousands more than some of the brands. So the two brands, if I have to talk about these two brands, GV and Enduristan, I think in this department, I don't think they have failed till date. Um, and
I mean,
I,
there are a lot more brands as well.
yeah,
And again, relating to something in real life.
something that's available here, something
Yeah.
that's available for you guys to pick up in India. These are the brands we have access to try, right? I mean, you do have Moscow, Kriega, and all of that, but they're just not available.
Since you said Moscow and Kriega, something that I'd want to tell a lot of people, just because something looks like Kriega or the design and the colors and all of that looks like these brand, it does not mean it works the same.
Yeah.
It's like if I look like him, I don't have the energy to pull a bike like him. And trust me, I've seen that. I've struggled. He just but the idea is same. It's not always looks that matter. It's functionality. And between both of us, honestly, I think over the years we have spent quite a few bucks, a lot of bucks actually, to figure out what works. And this was not R&D or this was not something that we were sponsored to do. We were
Yeah.
not paid to do this thing. And if you see even today, he doesn't talk about a specific brand is because there was no payment involved in anything. The AJ Motovlogs by himself, or even if you guys, obviously a lot of you guys have visited at the store, you've speaking to us, spoken to us. Experience only builds us into letting you know, enable yourselves to choose the right products. But
Yeah.
we will be able to tell you what happened or what could happen based on a similar line of luggage. I mean, obviously, we didn't have the money or the time or the freedom to actually ride so much to
Yeah.
try all of that luggage. But
But yeah,
whatever
I
we've tried,
started with the hard luggage, if you didn't know. I should have said this in the beginning of the
I'm
video.
gonna get to that in a bit because it was very cute to see him with boxes and the typical.
So yeah, for
I'm
the
gonna
guys
tour.
who know my ADV, I think India's most kitted out ADV. There are a couple of guys who've claimed that,
Hey,
but
hello. I was also one of them. I
one
just
of
didn't
them,
have.
yeah.
I just didn't have a
I had
luggage.
metal boxes on either sides. I had a top box, and that was when I was doing road touring, and I did a pretty decent job.
I think the best part was when I saw the Alaskas that is on your Alaska or was on your Alaska. Click, remove, take. You're like, okay, let's sit, let's chill. And versus, I've seen others where
Yeah,
you have to turn the throttle inside to pull it out, or you have hook points. I mean, it was pretty much that 10-year-old saddlebag in a metal form that I just saw.
yeah,
And versus what I saw here, which obviously I've been seeing in other brands like Hepco. The idea is again brands that actually design their whole system, which is not just the boxes and a brand specific rack.
Yeah.
That was something that is there. Even if you look at soft luggage, if you see clickable luggage from GV, if you look at Enduristan, if you look at SW Motec, all of these guys, they have the other side designed as well. It's not just a bag that they expect always to be thrown across. And a lot of guys have now I mean, I think I would agree to the fact that, yes, I wouldn't want something that is tied down. The chances of it fluttering at the speeds we do, or even if
Yeah, I think these guys have been tried and tested out in crazy conditions. I mean, there are a few videos from these brands. The way they have tested them out,
God, yes.
it's a no-brainer. I don't think any of us would use it to that extent. But if you plan to keep these bags for the next, say, 8 years, 10 years, keeping aside, dropping the motorcycle, having crash, I think this would just last you for a lifetime. Because the SW Motec bag, the GV bags that I've been using, they work absolutely great in any given condition.
And to also add a point, he replaced one of the outer covers of his GV, which I think was something that's there, not there with a lot of brands. So one of those trails he's fallen, took an impact, not tear, but obviously for his OCD, that was dirty. And
Yeah.
it was damaged. It was actually damaged. What, a month?
Yeah.
He's got the next part, which is just one component of a bag. Now, that is something usually hard luggage comes out with. They have started that with soft luggage.
Talking
Individual.
about protection, that's a major point when it comes to soft luggage. So people might be wondering, well, I'll have to carry laptops or cameras. So I do that pretty much on most of my trips, but sometimes it's on my backpack. But say if you're someone who's working on the go, you have to carry your laptop, your camera, your drones, your GoPros. You're basically a media guy and that typical IT guy. Soft luggage is something I would probably put second in the list because there are high chances, say you're going on a trail, you wouldn't know when you would drop the bike on a trail or when you would have a bad crash.
But would you actually carry that when you're doing a trail?
I mean, worst scenario.
Okay.
Say I'm a good off-road lover, and I
So
love.
you don't go to Chikmagalur straight. You'll take that left and go
I
into
take the bad
forest.
road, yeah, yeah.
So okay, those conditions, yes.
So what you could also possibly do is there are ways where you could actually, pack your luggage when it comes to soft. You could use the back part where it's here, touching the frame of the motorcycle to pack all your valuables. And that way it keeps most of the things safe. Because I remember even during my Northeast ride, the KTM Northeast ride, I think the motorcycle fell on the right side. I had my laptop on the right side, the exhaust side. And I did not, at that point in time, all I had to do is lift the bike and start riding. But then later during the ride is when I realized that my laptop was in there. But I was a little clever. I kept it towards the back part of the frame and it was absolutely safe. So in that way, in terms of you look at space, you look at safety, maybe we'll talk about safety in a bit.
No, but also adding there, I'm sure there's going to be a few questions where won't the laptop touch the frame and cause vibrations? No, just put another layer, maybe a towel or a set of towels or microfiber, something.
Yeah.
Keep this in the middle. You will have
Sandwich
parts
it
here.
basically.
Sandwich
So
it.
it does a brilliant job. Let's talk about safety because safety and probably daily use. Because someone who wants to invest in good soft luggage setup, you're looking at a good 50 to 60.
Easily.
That,
I
that's,
would say this is again touring setup. But
yeah,
see, the idea again, going to safety wise, the first point, I'm sorry to cut short your thought process, but I have been asked this a million times, won't these be stolen? And I agree, bigger bikes actually gather more attention. That being the case, I've rarely seen a big bike owner leave his bike out of his line of sight.
yeah. And by the way, soft luggage, when you have those bags there, they don't attract attention because when you have the hard panniers on the top box, you see a million stickers on those boxes, all the reflection going on there, and that's where people will come in and want to touch your stuff, right?
Oh, no, I mean, that's, I'm not going to get into that. But
Get soft luggage.
so I think, when it actually comes to the whole point of safety of side bags, you would have a lot to talk about. I think the Arunachal trip was one, and I think after that a few trails that you were doing where you moved from GV to Enduristan,
Yeah.
or soft bag to trail bag, enduro bags to be precise. There has been a lot of experiences that you've had, and something that even I tell a lot of people, which I experienced with the GRTs, which I had as well. And I think even when Rakesh took it to your ride to Kaza,
Yeah.
so what do you think? Is it something that is a crucial point?
See, in terms of safety, well, say if you're stopping at quite a secure place, you're staying in a nice lavish hotel where you have basement parking. Say you have inner bags for your soft panniers, you might as well, you'll be good in just taking off those bags. But again, I would prefer taking the bags off, regardless whether it's soft or hard. I think most of us would do that, keeping in mind you'd want to take everything to your room, rearrange a few stuff. So I think taking off these bags is a good idea, provided it's a nice setup, like one click, a couple of straps, and you're good to go.
Fair
So
enough.
safety-wise, I would say it's a 50-50, but what's in your bag, that's definitely safe, and that also depends on how well you pack it when it comes to soft luggage.
So that's another point. I mean, even when it comes to a simple aspect as a tail bag, I have, at some points, I've just thrown everything into it and then I realize that everything's messed up. But then if it's packed well, it will stay packed well. And so that little effort when you're packing can actually go a long way. And in this case, yes, even if it's a 1,000-kilometer trip, it does go a long way. After the trip, with the right straps, with the right hook points, it actually keeps everything safe.
Pro
And-
tip, use packing cubes. Makes life a lot more easier.
Oh yeah, I didn't believe in that until like what, 1,500 bucks? You get
Yeah.
8 to 10 pieces
you
on
get
Amazon.
you get different sizes of packing cubes. I mean, they're quite cheap. They're available on Amazon, Flipkart, and they just do a fantastic job. You actually know where you've kept stuff, and it's not all over the place. Like you just want to pick up a pair of socks, and you would have to remove the entire stuff is just thrown into one place, right? Packing cubes really help a
And
lot.
I think there are also some brands that make colored packing cubes.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I also realized is a lot of us have a problem when you are, let's say, a 4-day ride, and we would prefer obviously carrying just the tail bag or maybe side bags. Now, the benefit of packing cubes, let's say I finish ride 1, I don't have to carry a garbage bag to put this in. That's again plastic waste, connecting a lot more. But eventually, take that bag out. You have 1 day's clothing in there. Use it. Put what you wore back into it. Which mostly, yes, I think you would also agree. A lot of cases we don't carry everyday jeans. We've got inners, which if you have your 6S or any of these guys, quick wash, quick dry, and works brilliantly on rides, and that reduces the amount of stuff you're actually carrying to that much.
Yeah.
One inner can take that much.
In
whereas-
short, pack less, pack light.
Very true, very true. Be it soft or hard.
Hard, yeah.
Both the luggage system, the lighter you are, the faster you go, the more comfortable you are, the easier it is to search for stuff.
Now,
the other thing is protection.
protection, yeah, which is why I personally love soft bags even more, because you have so many options in soft bags. So let's start from the front of the motorcycle. You've got crash bar bags, you've got handlebar bags, you have your tail bag, your saddle bag, you have bags to go on your tail bag
bags,
itself.
yes. You've got
right?
frame bags, which
Frame
is
bags. So if you look
specific.
at some of the bigger motorcycles like the 1250s and I think even Africa Twin.
Africa
from
Twin, yes,
Road Rider,
there are a few brands that big.
you have specific small pouches to keep tiny bits and pieces on the frame of the motorcycle. So that way, in terms of soft luggage, you have a lot of options to choose from. You're not just stuck with the soft panniers. You have a lot of options when compared to your hard luggage, still being lighter than the hard luggage.
Agreed.
Depends
Also,
on how well you pack. I've seen
that's
people pack. See, I'm not kidding you, right? For that 15-day Kaza trip I did, I had one 35-liter SW Motec bag. One.
Says the same guy who a few seconds back told, even if I have everything packed light and packed well and packed precise, I'd still want to take everything to my room.
Yeah.
Point to be thought.
Yeah.
Think about that. See, it's always something that we'll carry. Now, if we are to carry something lighter, it's easier than carrying that whole house. Your complete wardrobe doesn't need to go onto a bike trip. You'd realize after a few bike trips, just 2 pairs of jeans, maybe a few
I've
slippers.
actually realized that a lot, because these days I pretty much wear the same clothes the next day. Yeah, can you cut this?
No, so I see. As long as I think there are some people who actually carry comfort softeners,
Yeah.
fabric softeners, and maybe a quick wash when you finish a ride. As you check in, put all your dry fits inside there, warm, lukewarm water, drop it in, finish your dinner, come back, dry it. The next day,
All
it's perfect.
done,
So
yeah.
you're bacteria free, you're everything. Again, we're going off into a different world, but the idea is
I
soft
think the next
panniers.
video should be pack light for your motorcycle trip. We
We
will
could.
do that. Getting back into the topic, so we are not saying that we are not coming to a conclusion that soft luggage is only for the guys who do off-roading. Soft luggage is only for the guys who do trails. That's absolutely wrong. You've got a big bike. You're a small guy. You're someone like me. Say you try to pick up a 1250 GS or a GSA, and you're just about 5'8", you weigh about 65, 70 kilos. You're just okay with your motorcycles, but you've got tremendous amount of talent to take the motorcycle to places where it shouldn't be. The best way you can keep your motorcycle light is get soft luggage and not those big boxes. The big boxes, the panniers, they're fantastic. They do a great job. We'll have that for another video.
And to also add to it, like how we compensated the short man with more power, when it comes to soft luggage, all I can tell you guys is I myself am a perfect example over the years of my riding. Expand your horizon. If you see Rhinox and Vitara in your Instagram stories, or if you see, any brand, I mean, there's so many brands, but then there are two ways to expand your horizon. One, look at what is available for you in the market. What was available 7 years back or 10 years back was when motorcycling was just picking up. A lot of imports, a lot of brands couldn't or did not have representation in India. A lot of brands still, a lot of people were, doubtful, how does it work? And I think all of us, including, we've watched a lot of international motorcycle videos. If you see Chris Birch, you look at Adam Raymond, if you look at Brett Tax,
Yeah,
all
there's
of
a
these
reason
guys.
why they use specific luggage setup for specific rides, right? Uh, I would say if I pick up another motorcycle in the future, I don't think price should be a barrier here when it comes to choosing the luggage setup, because I would want to use the full or maybe 90% of that motorcycle's potential, and the only way you can do that on a multiple day trip is pack light and pack well with a soft luggage. So again, there are different brands, different pricing, rip-offs of good brands. So you would want to do a good amount of research, which is where we are also here to give you some good advice, some good gyan. You could walk into our store here in Bangalore or in Chennai.
That's where even if you talk about the Chennai team or the Bangalore team, I would say we are here to tell you more about our experiences with this luggage. We've never pointed out telling that this is what you need to go for. Even if it is a brand we don't sell, or even if it is a brand, guys, we've used it. And eventually, we are motorcyclists. We believe, or if we are doing this whole podcast, is after I think, 4 months, 5 months of us rattling between both of us, I'm saying this is good for this trip. And eventually, both of us agreed to the fact until I experienced soft luggage, I wasn't sure about it. Until he went all out and got the first set of Alaskas in India on his bike, he wasn't sure about hard luggage as well. He was a guy, he started with Rhinox tail bag for his grit trail. And I started with dirt sack side bags for my first Chikmagalur trip. We've come from there, and we've still respected those brands because they enabled the start. Never forget where you started. But it does not mean stay where you start. The world is advancing. Motorcycles are advancing. Riders are advancing. Speed. The conditions are changing. Torrential rains.
Rider skills are going up.
Extremely valid point. A lot of guys who we think will just buy a motorcycle and are doing crazy off-road, long-distance hardcore trails,
Yeah, for
tours.
that you need the right setup. If you have the right motorcycle, you have the right gears, you have tremendous talent, but your packing is just all over the place with heavy luggage, especially with something on your back on trails and off-road and stuff. That's not what you're looking for.
So, to wrap it all up, soft luggage is
For
still...
a set of people.
Yes.
Hard luggage is for another set of people. Both are absolutely great in their own terms.
And compensating hard luggage requirement because soft luggage is cheaper is a bad idea.
It's not, no, yeah.
Doing the same the otherwise is also a bad idea. If you are a road touring guy and if let's say, worst case scenario, you have a tip Soft luggage will rip apart if it is, again, one, a lower brand or a lower quality setup. When it comes to higher stitch quality, the kind of material that they use in
Yeah.
these.
Some of the brands that we've been using for the last few years, I think in the few falls that I've had, nothing has actually ripped off. It's just left, the mud marks and the slush marks. It's gone deep into the fabric, but it's not got to a point where it's damaged the fabric and had to replace stuff. Yeah.
So, again, if you guys think that there's something we missed, if you
Let
guys
us know
think,
the comment section. I mean,
Yes.
you can just blow up. It's a huge comment section down there. We'll battle it out and we'll see soft or hard. But
I think more than battle, I would be happy if people who are here
if
this
you agree
long.
with us, let us know. If you don't agree with us, also let us know.
We'd be more happy. We'd be more than happy. And if you guys think that you'd want to take it to a personal level, maybe you want to come down to the store, talk to us in person.
Yeah.
We have all the time, and we'd love to battle this out and maybe have a healthy discussion where if that helps you, our experiences, or maybe
Decide
another set
whether
of
you
customers.
need, a good luggage setup that be soft or hard. I think next podcast we should probably do on hard luggage.
We
It'll be
talk about
quite
hard luggage.
interesting.
See, at the end of the day, he's doing that because I still think we both have our love to certain things of hard luggage as well, and we would definitely want to put.
It doesn't mean we hate each other's opinion. It's like I said, it caters to different riders.
Absolutely. So, to sum it all up again, the second time, soft luggage is brilliant, and as I said, do not look at compensating for this at cost point, and do not if you see Lone Rider video and you're looking at the way it is, the way it functions, don't expect the same from a ripoff. It will function the same way only if it is manufactured by those guys. And the cost of this, just putting that out there before we wrap it up, India customs, India import taxes, all of these are a part of it. And I think you guys know between all the way from 29 to about 40% is the average value, which pushes between each luggage depending on the kind of HSN, the import lines, transit, shipping, a lot of things come into it. So cost is not somebody just putting a price value to it and it's not somebody making profit.
In a simple line, you're paying for quality and you're paying for after-sales service.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. After-sale service, that's a very important factor because most of these bags, I mean, be it a lot of locks, be it even his case of the side frame, I mean, it's purely aesthetic in some cases. But if you have a buckle broken, who do you go to? And how long is it going to take for you to get it back? And are you going to be recorded in the system as a warranty replacement or is it going to be lost? So many things that you have to look into. We will have multiple podcasts on these, but considering soft luggage being the most important topic, which we'd like to start with, yes, that's us. That's Srijit's, Ajit's, and
Thank you. I think this is our first podcast. Has gone way over 30 minutes, 25 maybe.
So, which is why for all you guys who've been with us this far, thank you so much for watching this. And we respect this. And definitely, if you guys are around Bangalore, both of us look forward to helping you out, talking to you guys, just having a cup of coffee maybe.
Yeah, let us know which topic do you want us to talk about in the next one.
That's also something that you can do. You can also DM us on Instagram. Maybe actually just give us a call and maybe give out your suggestions. Write out an email to us. But all suggestions are welcome. If you have any questions, any doubts, or anything that you want us to talk in depth, we're here and we have all the time. And luckily, we have experienced a lot of these things to actually talk about it. So that's us.
See you soon.
That's Bikenbiker podcast. Thank you so much.